Hello, how are you? The topic of this video is
GitHub Tutorial 8 Work on Master Branch. Now we have a GitHub repository from Master Branch. To show which Git commands are required to work on this master branch, here is the plan. First, customized Git environment. Second, add a file to repository, both local and remote. Third, modify the file you just added and commit it to local repository, then push to remote repository. Let's start from step 1. Customize a Git environment. Mainly set your identity. In other words, set username and email. This is important because every Git commit uses this information. You only need to do it once on any given computer. To set username, send command git config global user.name and your name. By the way, the option global will save the settings to system, and Git can use it for any repository in your system. So you only need to set it once. Of course, you can also use the same command to change the username anytime. To check the username in your system, type git config user.name.
Next, to set email, send the command git config global user.email test@example.com. You don't need to use quotes around the email address. To check the email address you just set, send command git config user.email. To check all the configuration systems in your environment, you can use this command git config list. There are more values you can set using git config command. Please refer to online Git documents for details at gitscm.com. By the way, SCM means Source Control Management System.
We are ready to add a new file to the repository as planned. It involves several steps. Adding the file to staging area, committing to local repository, pushing to remote repository. These steps distinguish Git from SVN. In SVN, you commit the change in one step from local to central server. SVN follows a centralized model and needs internet connection to commit change. In Git, the change has to be added to buffer zone called staging area, then committed to local repository, finally pushed to remote repository. Git follows a distributed model. You can work offline without any internet connection and work on local repository as long as you want, till eventually you decide to push all the changes to remote repository. Let's take a look how this process takes place in live demo. List the file in the current repository. There's only one file, readme.md. You can also verify this in GitHub repository webpage. Create an empty file with your favorite text editor. For example, Notepad or Notepad++. Name it demo-01.txt. Click Yes to create the file. Check if this file has been created. Yes, it is. Note that the Git status summary information has changed. Run git status command to view the details. It reminds us to use git add file to include this untracked file. Run git add dot to add all untracked files. Here, there is only one. The dot symbol means all files. Run git status again to view the new status. Run git commit to save the new file to local repository. Now Vim editor shows up. Although you can use -m option to add comment directly in command line, I prefer to use Vim editor to add comment. It is not hard. You only need to remember several keys. First, press key I to enter insert mode. You can add comment now. Edit a new file. Then press escape, type WQ for write and quit. That's it. Not hard at all, right? For more options on how to use Vim editor, please search online. For this tutorial, that's all we need to know. You can also check the comment we just entered with git log /1. Here /1 means the last comment entry. You can surely use /2, /3 to view more log entries. Check status again. It reminds us to use git push to publish our local commits. If this is the first time you push change to remote repository, you can run this command to ask Git to store the credential to cache. Git config credential dot helper store. Now type git push and press enter. A dialog box will show up to ask you to enter account name and password. Do so as required. The push command should run without incident. We are not finished yet. To keep the credential cache, for example 2 hours or 7200 seconds, run this command: git config credential.helper cache timeout 7200. To double check if we have successfully added the new file to GitHub server, open the GitHub repository page in browser. The new file should show up there. To review what we have learned, let's do another exercise by modifying the new file, then adding to staging area, committing to local repository, finally pushing to remote repository. I will go quickly through the steps without too much explanation on what is happening, if the commands are already covered in the above demonstration. First, let's synchronize the local repository with remote repository with command git push. This is a new command that can be added to our Git toolbox. In our case, both repositories are already in sync, but in your daily development work, this could be the first action at the beginning of the day to make sure you have the most updated code from GitHub server before start making changes. Add one-line text in demo text. Hello world. Save it Query Git status. Add changes to staging area. Commit to local repository with comment. Edit greetings. Query status. Query last log entry. Push to remote repository. Try out by yourself till you feel comfortable to this procedure of working with master branch. Then move on to next tutorial. We will start working on development branch or custom branch. Thanks for watching.